Hello logic language learners. So this video is really inspired by some of the people that I've been working with this week. So so in particular Stuart, in particular David, in particular JD, and in particular Max. So all of whom I've met from the video, so that's fantastic. So this is a video to take you up a level for when you're dealing with pronouns, okay? So there's two methods we've done up till now, and it's really just, we talked the other video about reminding you of all the techniques we use for the different tenses, and this is a video to remind you what we do in the French mind, what we do when we form sentences with pronouns in them, okay? So it's just to kind of make all of this a little bit easier. So, same as normal, if you find the video useful, please click like, please click subscribe as well. By all means, contact me for private tuition on logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com or Facebook, hello me, if you logic language learning, all attached, lowercase, you will find me. So, right, so this method that I use, that I teach, all of my systems are very verb focused, because that is the main problem that you encounter when you're learning a new language, okay? That's the nuts and bolts, the skeleton of the sentence, okay? So I don't doubt, particularly after the last video, that if I mention the future, a lot of you feel yourself going to the re-ra-ron, or if I mention the past, a lot of you feel yourself going into the 1, 2, 3, have in the middle, or the wishy-washy, the was past, or whatever's going on, whatever method, soft, hard, all these different methods we've been talking about, you should be feeling that you're going into them. That's great. So, what I really want to talk about today is when we use the pronouns with them and what happens at speed. So we've already briefly talked about what is the bits and the verb technique, okay? So I've talked about this before, but to remind you, okay, bits and verbs. Let me see if the board is dry. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have bits. No, the board is too wet. Verbs. Never mind, the board is drying. So, it's always better to use alcohol rather than water, like in life. So, the point with bits and verbs is this: whenever you are adding something to a sentence that is having something done to it, okay, you are going to be using bits and verbs. What do bits and verbs mean? Bits and verbs are when you use up all your little people in the sentence and then the verb or verbs. So let's make this absolutely clear. How are we going to be thinking in this order in French when we think? So for us in English, I saw John, I saw him. We don't think any differently. To us, that's I saw John, I saw him. Okay, we get the verb out the way first. Now the crucial difference in French is if you are using something's proper name, so John, or the pizza, or Luke, or Ginny, or whatever. If you're using something's proper name, then you will do exactly the same as you do in English, obviously. So I saw John, j'ai vu John, okay? I eat the pizza, je mange la pizza. So when you have a proper name, you're going to be doing it pretty much the same word order as English, okay? So what we're working on today is this bits and verbs technique and when it kicks in, when your brain should go there. So to quickly remind you the bits and the verbs technique, it's with all the French tenses there are, all of them, except for when you have an infinitive. So strictly speaking, you're not putting the verb in a tense. You are going to use the system of giving me the person doing the sentence, then the person having it done to them, or the object having it done to them, or the objects having it done to them, and then, only then, are you going to address the verbs. So for example, I see him. Don't even think of see. I need your brain to go I, him, I, him. I speak to him, I to him, I to him. Okay? Oh, he gives you, he to you, then think about gives. And this is the speed that your brain is going to go at. You're going to be going through the sentence and you're going to be finding that. Now, Up until now, you've had two methods. You've had this partially introduced to you, and you had the insertion method. So if I said, for example, I saw him, I'd ask you to bring up I saw, j'ai vu, action, so having it, action, so having it, I have seen, j'ai vu, I saw, and then I'd ask you to think, right, now I saw him is direct, yeah, it's direct. So I'm going to be sticking a le in there. So remember, when you see something directly, the word is going to be one of the words, le, la, le. So I'd give you, or you'd come up with j'ai vu, and then you try and go again, and you'd stick le in there. So you'd go j'ai vu, je l'ai vu. Or if I gave you he speaks, il parle, he speaks to me, il me parle. Now that's great and that's fantastic, but what that means is you are training your brain to always work from preparing the sentence without the pronoun and then adding the sentence, which is fine. You know, it's not the end of the world to go, oh yeah, I saw John. Even in English, it doesn't sound ridiculous, but we want to get there faster. So to remind you, any tense you are going to be sticking the verb you are thinking about in will involve the bits method first. If you stick the verb in the infinitive, strictly speaking, you're not sticking the verb in a tense. So let's look. So I see him, give me the I see. Give me the, pardon me, that's what you don't do. Give me the I him, je le, okay? So I see him, je le. Then at that point in time, only then do you access the verb patterns you've been thinking of. So voir. Using my method, is it an A verb or is it a soft and a hard? It's a soft and a hard. Then we're in soft and hard. Am I single soft or plural hard? I'm single soft, so vois. Okay, so je le vois. If you were saying I will eat it. Let's go with a feminine pizza. So I eat, feminine, I eat. Don't worry about the eat. Get the eat out of your mind. I eat, je la. Okay, la, because it is the thing being eaten. So your mind has got to go, je la, je la, je la. So, I will eat. Once you've got je la out the way, that is the point in the sentence at which your brain goes, now I need to choose which of Luke's verbs I'm going to go to. So will eat, what's your coding for will? Re, ra, ron. So I will eat, it's going to be a re, isn't it? Yeah. Those of you that don't remember what re, ra, ron means, we're taking it from the past. Yeah. So j'ai, I have, je mangerai, tu as, tu mangeras, il a, il mangera, nous avons, nous mangerons, vous avez, ils mangeraient, ils ont, ils mangeront. So this is this future re, ra, ron that we've got from finding the past in the verb. That's how we distinguish who has what in the future. So I will eat it, je la mangerai. You will eat them. You are the person doing it, them are the person getting it done. So give me those. Don't even think about eat. You, tu, in this case, we're not going to go with vous. You and them, they're the things being eaten. Yeah, you're not eating to them. There's no leur. Them, les. Give me you, them, tu les, tu les, tu les. So rather than hearing in English, I will eat them, and remembering I need the word I, then I need the word them, then I need to translate those. I don't want you to do that. That's going in a really long way. What I want you to do is think like a ball game. Me, I've got the ball, me, turn where you're going to face and throw the ball in the right direction. So the action happens last. Oh, I've got the ball, who am I going to throw it to? I'm going to throw it to Arthur, from throw, okay? So, this is what needs to happen. I will give him. I, him. Now remember, you're not giving him personally, you're giving to him. So this is really important to remember the difference between the direct and the indirect. So direct, indirect, this messes everybody around. What are we remembering? If you said, I give him a job, the job is being given. So there's something else in the sentence that is more directly being given. I give him, I'm not giving him, I'm giving something to him. So don't find yourself listening to English of is there a to in there, or no. Just think verbs of communication in French, feel it. Something handing something to someone else is going to be to them. Okay? Lui, leur. Yeah, to him, to her, to them. Or you can imagine the hand behind the head method. So for example, I give them a present. What's been given? The present. There's something else looming in the sentence. If it's I give them to their mother, like the little chicks or something, I give them to their mother, they're the thing being given, and when they are being given, that is direct, okay? So I'm not going to explain any more the difference between lui and leur. I'm going to assume you know it, or you can go and look it up to the side in one of the videos, right at the beginning, if you look at direct and indirect pronouns. So, I give them a job, forget the verb, je leur. I give, je leur. Now I think of my verb. So, let's take this up a level. What have we basically discovered recently in our big recap videos? That some tenses have one word, and one verb, and some tenses have two verbs. But we've been using systems like 3 fingers and 2 fingers, so let's quickly make sure we've had an obvious thought. If we've got 3 fingers, it means person doing it, then the word have or be, although in this case we don't need to worry about be, because we're dealing with that with the je me suis, tu, t'es, il, c'est, okay? This method is purely for when you have in the middle in the past. This is when you are doing something to something else, okay? So let's say we had 3 words for our action past. So I spoke, I have spoken. The first one is obviously, I have spoken. The first one is the person doing it. So that will go with bits. Yeah, the bits are anybody doing the verb or anybody getting the verb. Yeah. So I have spoken. If I got rid of that first one, it then means how many words have I got left for the past? I've got 2. Yeah. So I have spoken it. French, I've spoken it, since I was little. So I have spoken is 3, but I've taken that one away and I've given I it, je le, je le, je le. So what I need you guys to think when you're thinking of things in the past now, or verbs, tenses with auxiliaries, so je l'ai pris, je l'avais pris, je l'aurais pris, je l'aurais pris, is I need you to start thinking of the auxiliary. So when we go bang, okay, stop thinking 3, start thinking, we think I need 3 and I need to insert 1, so that's going to make 4. No, think what is the feature, what is the key to going in the past? Have in the middle, okay? So I saw it, have seen. So you need to be really sharp on knowing the haves for people without the word attached. So we never separate, we often separate a name and the word has. So for example, he has, il a. If I asked you all to say George has, you'd be quite comfortable saying Georges a. I have, j'ai, okay? I it, je le. If I then asked you to stick have in there, you've got to be ready with a. You've got to be ready with the a, okay? So I saw him, je le ai vu. So what's going to make the action, okay? Stop thinking 3, because that's now going to be obsolete. That's not going to work because you've got other things in the sentence. Start thinking you need your have, okay? So I saw him, je l'ai vu, je l'ai vu. Now, you're going to say, yes, but Luke, if you work out the bits, so I, him, have seen, it doesn't work because you've got je and le, a and vu. And I'm saying at speed, I didn't tell you to not put them together, I just told you which one to think of first. So je l'ai vu, your mind will deal with it, okay? I will give them. I them, think of I them, don't even think of anything to do with the verb yet. So I them, je l'ai, will give, donnerai, okay? I had given them, je les avais donné. So what theme represents to you the pluperfect, that the had tense, the was of the form have, avait or été? Although in this case it's going to only be the have, isn't it? Because we're doing something to something else. Okay? So this method is absolutely winning. It works in all tenses. So I will speak to him. I to him, je lui parlerai. Je lui ai parlé. Je lui parle. Je lui avais parlé. Okay? I was speaking to him. Give me I to him. Je lui. Then you think, what sound do I need for my was? Parler. So this is, subtle as it sounds, asking you to stop finding I was speaking, je parlais, and then adding lui. That doesn't work. Now, next thing which is really important. Stuart, who watches the videos, who's based in New York, who's a great friend and a student, he's doing really well. Stuart, the student, is made a really good observation the other day. He said, but in English, if you said, I'm going to do it, you've got the to form, okay? So he said, okay, I understand the to form means you don't use adding lui. That doesn't work. Now, next thing which is really important. Stuart, who watches the videos, who's based in New York, who's a great friend and a student, he's doing really well. Stuart, the student, made a really good observation the other day. He said, but in English, if you said, I'm going to do it, you've got the to form, okay? So he said, okay, I understand the to form means you don't use the clicks. You go, I am going, it to do. And you have taught us, Luke, successfully that you go, je vais le faire. And we got that, Luke, little before large. You put the little word before the infinitive. If you have an infinitive, so I will eat it, verb tense, je le mangerai. I'm going to eat it, je vais le manger. Or I prefer to eat it, je préfère le manger. But he said, but Luke, in English, I am going to eat it, I have eaten it. They kind of feel the same. One's obviously a verb tense, and one is involving an infinitive, a to do. So without having to resort to the English, how are you going to solve this problem? And I said, Stuart, imagine you are back at school and you have got coloured pencils. When you have a theme, a colour, for each verb idea. So I spoke, I have spoken. You're still thinking about speak. I will speak. I would speak. Yeah, I will have spoken. Whatever's going on, although there might be other words in your sentence, you're thinking about speaking. So the colour is all going to be one colour. Okay? And when you've got one colour, okay, you're going to use the click method. So you hate us. You hate us. Vous nous détestez. We hate you. Nous vous détestons. We used to hate you. Nous vous détestions. Whatever's going on, we've got one colour, so we use the click method. Are you? If you said, we're going to hate you. Now, even without thinking in English, even if you just think, going is one colour, hating is another colour. You've got two ideas here. You've got two ideas, the going and the hating. This is where language is separate from words. This is where you're going to ignore this click and you're going to get verb number one out the way. Because if I'm asking you to stick the pronoun before the long form, it means the same thing as just saying the first verb first. So for example, I prefer to speak it, French, I prefer to speak it, okay? Two ideas, prefer, speak. So when I've got two, get the first idea out of the way. Je préfère le parler, okay? I used to speak it, it's just as complicated in English, but it's still just one colour, it's speak. You're taking the word speak and you're sticking it somewhere. That's when you use the clicks. So je le parler, okay? I hate to see them. Yeah, they always depress me, I hate to see them. Hatred is a feeling. Seeing is a feeling. Two verb ideas. Get the first one out of the way. Je déteste les voir. I hate them. Yeah, I hate them. I them, je les déteste. So you will do it differently when you've got these two colours. Have is obviously an auxiliary. Would have is an auxiliary. You know, had is an auxiliary. We're comfortable in our mind with have not meaning anything. It's not I have spoken. There's no interest. There's no interest. It's not a separate colour. Okay, so a couple of final points. If you have more than one thing in the bits bank, normal, yeah, so I speak, one bit, one verb. I speak it, je le parle, two bits, one verb. I have spoken it, je l'ai parlé, two bits, two verbs. But remember we have the options with three. Remember when you add an en. So he buys me some. He, me, some. Il m'en. You've got three bits now. He, me, then the some. Then you deal with the verbs. You don't even get to the verbs until you've got all the bits out of the way. So go on then. Give me the three bits again. Il m'en. And this you can play with for yourself. So find your bits, yeah, and then deal with your verbs in all the tenses. So he will buy me some. Il m'en achètera. At that point you think of the verb. He would buy me some. Il m'en achèterait. He bought me some. Il m'en a acheté. What do we go straight for when we've got an action? The have. He had bought me some. Il m'en avait acheté. Okay? He's going to buy me some. Ooh, two different colours, so I don't think of the clicks. He's going. Il va. Get the first verb out of the way. M'en acheter, and that's where you have everything before the verb. You obviously don't have il before the verb, because you've got the second verb, because you need to say he. So he's going m'en acheter. Okay? So let's do a few more examples. They used to love us. They, us. Now I'm giving you the example in English so you know what we're doing, but the point is you've got to get in the habit of thinking il, nous, and then choose. They, us, and play that as a game. They, us, love. They, us, hate. They, us, will hate. Just practice sentences where you say what you're going with first, then where it's going, and then your verb. So this is a really, 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 really big beg for all of you who are wanting to progress. Can you start using this method? Now, I don't deny that at the moment it's going to annoy you, because you're going to go je le or je l'ai, so I buy them, I bought them. Je l'ai acheté. Oh, je les ai achetés. It'll annoy you. Rather than going j'ai acheté, je les ai achetés. Okay? But if you want to speak French properly, long term, correctly, fluently, you have to get onto bits and verbs. Okay? All these videos on YouTube, all explaining and insert the pronoun. Waste of time, because at speed it doesn't help you. Click, click, verb. Click, click, verb, verb. Click, click, verb, verb. First verb, click, second verb, okay, if you've got your infinitive. So I really hope this is useful. Let me know how you're getting on. Tell me how you're getting on with the trying to incorporate the, the clicks technique, the bits and the verbs. Can I remind you again, a bit is anybody involved in a sentence, not the infinitive. Sorry, not the verb. Yeah, he loves me. He is a bit. Me is a bit. Love is a verb. Okay. So let me know how you're getting on. I've got lots of classes booked for next week. I will hopefully try and film some for you. Everybody's so vain though. Everybody's like, oh, I haven't got my makeup. I haven't got this. Look at this. So let me know how you get on, and I will see you soon. Can you please give me some feedback? Let me know on Facebook how bits and verbs is working out for you, and I will speak to you all soon. If this has been useful, please click like. Okay.